Hello everyone, my name is Patrick. This is the video discussion that we're going to be doing this week. This week we're talking about the differences in two different dissertations and methodologies and different things that we should be looking for when we're doing our own dissertations, I believe. And so this week I found two dissertations. My focus, I believe, will be on the Civil War. And one of the reasons that the Civil War is so impactful was it was the first war that really shook America to its cultural foundations. They called it the Brothers' War. It really was brother against brother. In fact, in my own family, we have ancestors that were indeed family members that fought on either side of the Union and the Confederacy. And one of the areas that I focused on was actually at Gettysburg, specifically with Major General George Gordon Meade. And I found an interesting dissertation by Paul Wendell, or excuse me, not Paul Wendell, that's the other one, Theodore Pappas. And he was speaking about the actual interactions between Meade and other generals and other military commanders and the media. At the time, the media had not been as present as in the previous conflicts, the Mexican-American War, and of course the American Revolution, and the War of 1812. These wars were not as publicly covered. But at the time, technology had advanced to such a point that news traveled really fast. So it would be one day before the public would hear about a battle. And a lot of times they had news correspondents at the battle sites, and so they were able to specifically isolate the events. And the dissertation focused on firsthand accounts. Mr. Pappas really focused on understanding what the media's relationship with Meade and other generals looked like, how that affected the war, how that affected Meade himself as a commander. We know from history that Grant was eventually put in charge of the Army of the Potomac. Even though Meade was still the commander, Grant was really the commander. They were commanding together, which is very strange. And the second dissertation I looked at was by Paul Wendell. And Paul Wendell wrote a dissertation called The Rifle Musket in the Battle of Gettysburg. And what he focused on was specifically the technology, the military technology of the battle and how that affected the outcome. Specifically focusing on the rifle musket. And during his conclusion, he made an interesting point, saying that the romanticism of the rifle musket from the American Revolution was the reason that there was so much emphasis on changing from the old style rifle into the rifle musket. But he concluded that although that they did go to a more modern weapon that was more easily manufactured, it was actually the artillery and the geographical area of Gettysburg that made the Union able to win that battle, was their strategic positioning. He also used a lot of interpretations from different primary sources, specifically accounts from artillery members, commanders, and then he also used outside secondary sources, and some of those sources included some recent work. But both of these dissertations resemble what we should be emulating in our own dissertations, is a specific call to finding the right primary resources, not always finding the secondary sources that might align, but even finding some that are counter-argument in order to show both sides, in order to maintain a sense of neutrality. And so this week's discussion was a simple one based on just going through these dissertations, and I hope that we can all learn from each other during this discussion.